There we go. Okay, now we have sound. I don't know why it didn't save my device. That's pretty stupid. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. So we're gonna get into let me make sure my levels in the game are good. God, this is so stupid. My computer is just like totally freaking out. There we go. Okay, so let's check this volume. Okay, so I need to check just the game volume as well. Okay. There we go. Cool. Okay. So this should now be registering. Yeah, there we go. Okay. It looks good to me. Okay. So we're gonna just kind of go right into this. Try and not waste too much time. I say that as I spend like 30 minutes, troubleshooting. Okay. Um, so we're gonna go over some Week 9 games. I'm gonna do them kind of by team, but so the first one we're gonna do is we're gonna do let's see. All right, we're gonna do shift click versus barcode, and then we're gonna do Flashcoin Whales versus shift click versus team name, and then Flashcoin Whales versus barcode. So those are the tier 3s we're gonna do today. So right in, we're just gonna get into, I guess, the first set of games. It's gonna be a PvP. Let's see. Let me. You know what? I'm just not gonna do the scoreboard tonight. It's just too much. We'll do it. We'll do it next time. Kind of already starting very late, so we'll just kind of get into the game and yeah. Okay. Here we go. So the first map for week 9 is going to be Dominator, and this is going to be a PvP. So here we go. Ooh. I'm not getting anything. You got to be kidding me. This setting doesn't work either. Okay. None of my settings work. Sorry about that. All right. Let's see how automatic works. If it doesn't work, I'm just going to have to tell it what to do. Do that. There we go. That works. That's something. Okay. Whoops. Oh. Okay. Well, let me, okay. Ha. I don't have my replay. This, like, oh my god, this is so ridiculous. Okay. Alright, I'm going to have just to add a replay blocker. Okay. Okay, we're going to have to do that again, and I'll just add the replay blocker. Okay. No. God damn it. I'm so dumb. Alright. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to remake the game, and I made my own makeshift replay blocker, and we'll just put that on. Okay. And I'll pause it before we do anything. Okay. So this is going to be Gummy versus Ramshoe. I have... Oh, wow, really? All right. Let me see where this is. Okay. I got to move it up a little bit there. Well, that's progress. Let's move it up just a little bit more. There. That's progress. That's good enough for me. I don't really care. Okay. All right. Let's go. In the in the 11 o'clock position on Dominator, our blue Protoss Ramshoe. And in the, I guess, I don't know, 6:30 position, almost 7 o'clock position, our red Protoss, it is GPK. Whoops. We got a pylon kind of here. Some interesting. So with the pylon here, you will definitely be able to fit a core here, but obviously, you know, you want the pathing, the return pathing. So that's interesting. And we have a gateway kind of here. This is also interesting. This kind of creates a little bit of a wall. And I don't think there will be a pathing issue. So two very interesting pylon placements. Okay, so we've got a... Okay. So we're thinking about like kind of moving down here, I guess. And Gummy is scouting right away on presumably 10. Ramshoe scouting a little bit later. Gummy gonna get the first scout. And second gateway. Beautiful. And it looks like Ramshoe is going to be going for I'm not sure. Ramshoe's not building anything. Okay, there's the Zealot. Okay, so this might be a Zealot Core Zealot opener. Little oops. Little slow on the hold on. Let me pause this. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. So anyway, we're a little slow on, I think, the production for Ramshu. So probably, you know, probably still getting used to hotkeys and knowing where everything is on the keyboard. I know that like that's at least when I first started years and years ago, that was for a long time a very quiet struggle of mine, is just having the keyboard memorized so you don't have to look down at everything all the time. So could be a number of reasons why we're seeing a little bit slow on the spending, but um, you know, that's this is a very mechanical game, and there's a lot of mechanical hurdles to get through. So we've got 3 gate and a core coming for Gummy, and we got 3 zealots coming up. So nice. And 3 zealots here for Gummy, for Ramshu as well. So, not good surface area. The red Protoss is definitely getting the upper hand in this fight, even though it was even. This is a narrow choke, so I don't think that the blue zealots were getting the best surface area in that fight. Nonetheless, it was held with just probes, and we still have zealots. So, so that defense, that attack was held, and we do have +1 armor coming up for blue. We have 3 more zealots inbound, but there, you know, it's going to take them a few seconds to get there. And it looks like we have a forge incoming as well. So red is definitely keeping up the pressure. I feel like for this map, I feel like you really want to have your zealot line here, because these narrow ramps, if you can only fit 2 of yours on here, but your opponent can get like 3, or you can't just get, you know what I mean? It's just, it's very narrow, very hard to deal with, very hard to navigate and stuff. Plus, this is like a free wide choke point for a wall of zealots just right here. So, oh, we are engaging. Much better engagement for blue this time, but still, I think red is going to take the fight. Again, just getting better, just getting better surface area with the zealots. And now we have goons mixed in. This is usually spells disaster. When you're doing a 2-gate and you have all the zealot pressure, and then the goons come in, that's usually, I mean, if you don't have a response, if you don't have it under control by then, it's usually a disaster. So, and kind of here we Big Bank kind of going for GPK, so probably focusing a little bit more on the fight than focusing on macro. And GG. All right. Good. Well done. Very solid game 1. And we're going to go into game 2. All right. game 2 is going to be on Eclipse. And this is PvP. I am expecting to see dual gas steals. No, I'm kidding. Okay. In the top right, our blue Protoss is Ramshu. And in the bottom left, our red Protoss, Gummy. So, I think generally speaking, at this level of skill, you know, where we're maybe still trying to get our mechanics down, or you know, maybe we're still trying to, you know, learn the game and stuff. I feel like Gumby's strategy for going 2-gate, just opening 2-gate, is a pretty sound strategy. Definitely, you know. So in CPL we have, for those who are watching that don't know CPL, or new, and maybe don't know what's available, we have a Discord, and on our Discord, in our Protoss, kind of our Protoss themed general chat, we have a bunch of pins from you know, various points in Protoss coaching, CPL's Protoss coaching history, and in one of those pins we have, from one of our previous coaches, recommended openers for varying degrees of skill. And if you're very new to RTS, or in particular StarCraft's brand of strategy, where it's very hotkey driven, and you have to know all the buttons, and you have to have very good button dexterity. Like, look at this. This is a 50-50 APM match. This is a 50 APM versus 50 APM match. So in this kind of a match, you know, where it's low APM, or, you know, we're still learning the game. Opening 2-gate, which is what our red Protoss did in game 1, opening 2-gate is a very good way to go. So just opening 2-gate Zealot and just running and just doing Zealot pressure and just learning how to do that. I remember when I started getting back into StarCraft a few years ago, I think it was like around 2021 or 22. I had APM like this. I had 50 APM. So and now I have, like, I mean, you know, I have an EAPM of like 150. So you can raise your APM. I had to do a lot of repetitious mechanical exercises that had nothing to do with the game. I just had to just learn how to type keys in sequence and spam, and I spam cycled keys as an exercise. So there's lots of different ways you can build your APM. It's a very, you know, doable thing, but yeah, this is a very low APM match. So I like what Ramshu is deciding to do. Ramshu kind of learned from game 1, where the opponent went open 2-gate, and Ramshu decided to open 2-gate, and, you know, built a couple Zealots to where they can hold this ramp. Whoops, sorry guys. Built a couple Zealots to where they can hold this ramp, and then just built a bunch of gateways. And then hopefully they're going to start... Oh, and they're building goons. So there's kind of, you know, defending their ramp with some Zealots, making sure they're safe, and they're just teching right into goons. So this is not a bad way to go. I still think on the whole, Ramshu is. I mean, look, we don't have this blinking at all, so and we're down 6 workers, so you know, I do think that the macro still needs to be worked on, but this is very good um, starting point here. One of our old coaches as well has some exercises. Master Ray has some exercises on macro in the Protoss CPL Discord that I would recommend looking at as well. It's also in the pins, so we'll see. I think that for Ramshu, I would definitely recommend looking at those macro that macro tutorial. Um, it looks to me like GPK has a pretty good handle on this. Even Goons, a few more Zealots, but and a DT. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so GPK Gummy maybe having a little bit more of the macro production basics down, but again, this isn't building probes either, so again, we could work on that. But the GPK seems to have an actual build sense down. So, and DTs, the Invisible Men, doing their nasty business again. It's the DTs. So yeah, just some kind of thoughts. Just some kind of thoughts to look at. But it's a pretty straightforward game. I think both players could stand to keep working on their production. Oh my gosh. DTs are going to deny the expansion. This doesn't get canceled. It just gets completely decimated. More DTs coming across the map. Wow, this is Dunzo. Look at that. They're just blocking the ramp. And now we're going in and killing probes. Painful, I know. You don't want a GG, but you have to. Oh my gosh. All right, well played. So yeah, that's I'm actually kind of glad we got to look at that because in all the times that I've been playing CPL and I've casted CPL at tier 3, I have not seen a sub 100 APM match. This is my first 50 APM versus 50 APM match that I've seen. So it's really cool to watch because this was me 3 years ago. Literally, I was at 50 APM 3 years ago. Maybe even 4 years ago. Anyway, on to the next series. Okay, so GG 2-0 for Gummy. Playing for, I believe, I'm not sure what. Anyway, 2-0 for Gummy. Well done. Up next, we're going to go to Whirlwind versus Shimmer Rev. TVP. All the way back to Dominator. And here we go. Okay. All right. In the 3 o'clock position on Dominator are Orange Terran playing for, I think Barcode. I'm sorry, no, I think playing for Shift Click. It is Whirlwind playing as Summit Wind this game. And our Magenta Protoss playing for team name didn't make. It is Shimmer. This is kind of more like the slower end of tier 3 that I expect to see, like kind of in the 70, 80 to 100 range. This is a really, like, I would say a good, what I've seen, a typical tier 3 low APM range. So we'll see what we get here. So it looks like Whirlwind is walling at the ramp, trying to keep out those pesky zealots. Shimmer, meanwhile, sending off a scout. Well, that feels a little early. Was that like an 11? Was that like an 11 or 12 scout? Might have been a 12. Taking gas, looking good. Shimmer is going to get the first scout. Sees the wall. Not building a zealot. So Shimmer is kind of looking at the wall, and so if you don't plan on building a zealot and throwing it in here as a Protoss, you're just kind of making note of, well, okay, this could be aggression, or it could just be a safe play. Who knows? It is possible to see a 2-fact out of a wall, and it looks like, oh, look at that. It's going to be a 2-fact. So Summit Wind is going to get the second scout here. First goon gets out and has to just totally fight through all of the mining probes. I hate that. Probably not the best SimCity for that first gateway if the goon has to fight your mineral line, but it happens. Definitely at this tier, you don't always have the most optimal SimCity, and you just kind of have to go with what works and what doesn't. Wow. Nice job blocking this Nexus. That is supremely annoying, especially if you're trying to go 23 Nexus. Very good job delaying that. So we've got 4 Marines, and it looks like we're building a supply depot. Yep, these tanks are getting built, man. This is going to not be fun. Although if we can get another goon up here, we only have 2. Bummer. This is, yeah, we're gonna need to pull back. This is between the Vulture and the 3 Marines, that's not enough. Now, if we built a goon on 23, no, yeah, if we built a goon on 23 instead of building probes, this might be a different story. So this is a very fast 2-fact. I'm guessing it's just one tank. I'm guessing the second tank is just now coming out. But that's very, very fast. There's just one tank and 4 Marines. So I don't know. I see 2 more gates 2 more goons coming out. 4 goons can 2-shot a tank. And there's not a whole lot of Marines here. I don't know. Oh, there's another one. This might just break Shimmer. Just break him. Oh, there we go. 5 goons are out. Oh, man. 2 of them are popped. Nice job combining the probes in. Did take out 1 tank. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Is he going to hold this? That's crazy. That was so close. I don't know. That's still some macro coming out of the Terran. That's unfortunate. He's just not getting any shots off on those tanks. And he doesn't have an optimal amount of goons either. Yeah, this is over. Almost held it. GG is called. All right. 1 point on the board for shift click. That was very, very close. Like, I really feel like if we built a 3rd goon at 23, all things considered, we would have had 1 extra goon, and we might have held that. It was that close. It could have just come down to having 1 extra goon. All right. Oh, whoops. Wrong map. We already saw that one. We want to go into game 2. There we go. Okay. On to Eclipse. There we go. That was wow. That was a very close game. Okay. Okay, cool. So we have team colors this time. Our in the top right on Eclipse are Blue Terran, Whirlwind, Summit Wind, and in our bottom left are Red Protoss, Shimmer, playing for Shimmer's for team name didn't make, I believe, and Summit Wind for shift click. So DeWalt on YouTube has a 23 Nexus VOD, and in it he makes a comment. So when you do a 23 Nexus opener, after you build your expansion at 23, you have the option of building more probes or building another goon. And okay, so there goes. So that's an 11. That's like a 10 scout. That was a gateway scout. Okay. So you have the option of building more probes or building another goon at 23, and that's the build. That's like the fork in the build. Now in the video, DeWalt says that most of the time, when you go 23 Nexus, most of the time, you want to build another goon. So, you know, there's building another goon at 23 does gives you a little. I feel like it gives you a little bit more stopping power. If the Terran's going to push you, it also gives you a little bit less of a lull. If you're harassing a bunker, you can get a third goon there sooner than if you built a goon on 26. I think, yeah, on 26. So, I don't pretend to know the mind of DeWalt, but I would guess that that could be those two things, giving you more pressure power sooner and giving you more stopping power against pushes, would be why you would want to, more often than not, build an extra goon at 23. That would just and just based on the game that I saw last, the 23 goon may very well have decided the match in favor of Protoss. It may literally have just come down to having that one more goon sooner. So we'll see what happens. It looks like Terran's going for another 2-fact. But last time Summit Wind kind of skimped on Marines, only built 4. I mean, it's not uncommon to see something like 5 or 8 Marines when you do a 2-fact. So he kind of skimped a little bit, and just focus more on the tanks. So we'll see if he's gonna skimp again. It looks like he is. And the goon is just kind of going over there. So you want to check with your goon to confirm a CC here. Shimmer just now confirmed that there is no CC at 4 minutes, so he pulls back. And actually, this is a better spot. Rather than pulling all the way back, having your goons here, or even having like 1 or 2 of them up here, and then the rest of them back here, something. But there's a bunch of different ways you can go, but it looks like we're going to see the same push out of Terran again. Looks like we're going to see that move out at 1 tank and just rally everything. 3 Marines this time instead of 4. Wow. Bold move, Mr. Rayner. So we are... Oh, man. This one goon could totally clobber this vulture, by the way. I mean, I don't blame Shimmer for wanting to keep the army together, but that goon could have totally clobbered that vulture. And it will totally clobber this Marine, too. But the tanks are inbound. This game, it feels like, is getting shorter by the second. So this is also kind of a thing like where you don't really want to clump your units up like this, especially against a push. You definitely want your goons like kind of out a little bit more and maybe spread them a little bit. Not personally to just Shimmer, but also to anyone else who's watching and interested. Yeah, this went even worse than the last game. Wow. All right, GG. 2 more points on the board for Shift Click. Well done for Summit Wind. They do say, Artosa specifically has said that Terran is a timing attack race, and this is a good if you're learning Terran, if you're specifically like tier 3 learning TVP, this is a good way to go. Literally just get a timing attack build done and hit them before like 6 minutes. You know, eventually Protoss will learn how to deal with it, but it's very hard to deal with. It's very micro intensive, and it makes TVP, at least at tier 3, just really, really stacked in Terran favor. So, if you're tier 3, don't ever let anybody tell you that TVP is Protoss favored, because just too fact. It's literally that easy, as we just saw. Here's a series where it looks so easy. All right. Up next, we have another PvP. Jakester versus DJ Cohen. I am very much looking forward to this series. I've played Jakester in the past, and DJ Cohen is pretty active in CPL. So let's see what we got. Okay. All right. On Dominator in the 3 o'clock position are Blue Protoss. It is DJ Cohen. And in the nice 7 o'clock position are Red Protoss. It is Jakester. Jakester doing the good old super spam. And DJ Cohen just kind of, again, as we've seen, just at a nice, comfortable low APM, you know. So in my opinion, it's totally okay to spam. Whoops, sorry. In my opinion, it is totally okay to spam if it's an exercise. It's totally okay to spam if you're just trying to get your fingers, if you're just trying to get your fingers used to always moving, right? So it's great to do it as a dexterity exercise. If you're just spamming to watch the numbers go up, not a good idea. So even though we're seeing games that have like 40, 50, 70, 90, 80, you know, like really low, even though we're seeing really low APM games here, it's not necessarily an awful thing to have low APM at tier 3. It's way better to have 70 APM and hit all of your macro and all of your timings than it is to have 300 APM and not hit your macro and your timings. It's way better to just hit your macro than it is to focus on the numbers. But if you're training your fingers to be repetitive and to always move and stuff, spamming is okay, in my opinion. You know, you have to... Muscle memory is something that you have to train yourself to do. So, you know, I'm totally okay with that. So it looks like we're seeing a Zealot, a 2-gate out of DJ Cohen. So we just have a Zealot, and we're building 2 more Zealots, and then we're going into a core. And we're also getting a 2-gate here for Jakester, but we're not transitioning into core quite as quickly, which is there's a finesse with 2-gate. There is absolutely a finesse with 2-gate. You can absolutely stay on 2 gates and no core for really long. So instead of going for a core, Jakester is opting to go for more economy. So instead of teching into goons, Jakester is planning on being greedy and getting a faster base. This is another finesse with 2-gate in PvP. The finesse that you learn as you play is, when should I tech out of Zealots and into Cybernetics, and when should I expand? Those two things, it's like there's actually a little like weird meta sometimes with those two timings. So both players here doing the same opening strategy but going for slightly different paths. I feel like if DJ Cohen is aggressive and stays on the aggression and keeps the pressure up, I really feel like the quicker goon transition could work. But that said, range started really late. Now, until we get like 5 goons, these cannons are going to be crazy strong. This is going to be crazy strong until we get like a bunch of goons out. So I really feel like we kind of maybe rushed into Robo a little bit here. But again, this is a weird finesse with 2-gate. Like once you get the opening and the rhythm of it down, there's this really weird meta here. So now DJ Cohen, like the blue Protoss is like, oh, I'm way behind in economy. He already has his Nexus up. I should build my Nexus. So you're now Jakester is like kind of dictating the tempo of the game a little bit. So this is why 2-gate is a headache for me. I prefer not to play 2-gate. There's a lot of mind gamey meta crap with 2-gate that I'm like, yo, I just want to make goons and win, okay? So this expansion is coming up a little bit later. Have more Zealots, and if the Zealots get on top of the goons, they can do damage, but the goons can totally kite the Zealots. So until the blue Protoss starts getting some goons out of their own, they're not going to be able to be aggressive. So instead, what the blue Protoss is doing, which actually now that I see this, I don't actually disagree with the Robo. So I take back what I said about the the fast Robo. If you can't be aggressive, you can totally fly in with the Reaver and be a nuisance. So it looks like this is the route that the blue Protoss is going to take, is to fly in with the Reaver and be a pain in the neck. Hopefully. There we go. So the shuttle it has a Reaver and it is inbound. And it looks like he's going to try and head straight for this little vulnerable area right here. Now, there is a cannon here at the main, so he's not going to be able to get too close to this, but he might be able to snipe this cannon. There is nothing here and nothing... Okay, well, there's goons being built. There's nothing protecting these. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, those goons just finished in time. Yeah, if he can snipe that cannon, he's gonna have so much harass potential. There we go. He could totally harass freely now and just pick off probes. All right. Oh, there we go. Just go in right here. All right. 2 kills, 5 kills on the Reaver. Nice. Whoops. Just trying to catch him before he got out of the screen. Finally gonna try and shoo this away, but look at that. 10 kills on the Reaver already. Oh, wow. 15 kills. 15 probe kills. That, wow. No, yeah. He has to hit now. That totally paid off in terms of economy. Oh, this is, yeah. So, good call. Totally has to hit. He's low in economy. He has to rebuild his workers. He has to make this work. Now, the blue Protoss was a bit out of position, and this is totally enough goons to win this. We still have more goons at home that are not being deployed. But we might be able to... Oh, there we go. We're going to mix in some probes, I guess. There we go. We needed those a lot sooner. Nice, nice move here. He really needed to do something because he was economically on the back foot. Is he gonna hold this? No, he's not. It's 4-3. He's just barely not. Oh no, he might hold it. There's a Reaver. Oh wow. He just holds it with the Reaver. Nice. Oh my gosh. So, I don't feel like that Reaver play overall worked out. Because this counterattack just totally flipped the game around. Yeah, look at that. So it was originally like this, but flipped. It was originally like after the Reaver, it was like 20. It was like Jakester had 19 probes and DJ Cohen had like 30. Right? It was totally flipped, and now it's just a complete. The tables have just completely turned. And it was all because of that counterattack. So that was a very, very good game sense. Blue Protoss sharking around with another Reaver shuttle full of Reavers. Oh, look! I see a third. And a probe. Another counterattack coming across. This time it's pure speed zealot. This will actually clobber goons. Okay. You get a bunch of speed zealots on top of a bunch of goons, the speed zealots will win. Look at that. That's not enough. You needed a few more. Oh, there we go. The shuttles. The Reaver's now here. Oh my gosh! Oh, that's funny! Oh my gosh, that's funny! They're gonna die anyway, might as well attack, right? That's hilarious. So there are no more Reavers in here. It's pretty even now with workers. When all is said and done, I don't feel like that Zealot counterattack worked quite as well, but he only had like, what, 8 Zealots? Not very much. So. What we got here? We have a pylon wall here, and the third is up. And it looks like the goons are going to try and just hit this bottom ramp here. Now there are enough goons here. So the blue Protoss now kind of has the macro advantage. What we have? We have 6 gates at home producing. So we have 6 gates at home. About even on workers. Yeah. Nice job. Nice move out and just going for the third. Looks like we have another Reaver drop incoming. Oops. There it is. Yeah, sure. Let's just kill like 80 million more probes. Why not? We've been doing this all game. 10 more probes. Oh man, what a brutal game. These, oh, what are the upgrades? I have to look at upgrades. There's 0 upgrades on both sides, but these are enough speed zealots to push this back, I would say. We have Reaver over here. Oh, just killing probes. Okay. I totally missed that. That's funny. And morphing into Archons, but, you know, we don't really have an answer for the economy. And we have another round of macro coming in. Are these slow zealots? Okay, so GG for Jakester. Nice. All right. That looks like that could be a game 3 to me. I don't know about you guys, but that looks like we're going into game 3. Oh, never mind. That was just a game 1. What am I talking about? I thought that was game 2. That's where my head is. Okay. Very well done. Very, very well done. Okay. We'll go ahead and get the next series up and running. All right. In the top right, game 2. In the top right, our blue Protoss, it is DJ Cohen. And in the bottom left, our red Protoss, it is Jakester. That was a very, quite a wild game. Crimson Joe, my friend, thank you so much for the follow. So this is if you're kind of in the more the beginner end of learning Protoss in tier 3, like our first series, this is a really good series to watch and study from, you know, someone of similar skill as you, because, well, I wouldn't say study, but review, right? Like I would certainly watch this series and just kind of observe and try to learn from the different game states. This is a great series to learn about game states when you're 2-gating, because both of these players are going 2-gate, and they're both going 10-12 2-gate. So they're doing the exact same opening. But as we saw last game, they're doing the same opening, but there are two very different ways you can go. And more than two. There are very different ways you can go. We even saw a game where someone decided to go, instead of, you know, going into goons or expanding, someone decided to go 3-gate. You know, you could even do that. You know, there's a lot of different paths you can take out of 2-gate, but it kind of starts the same, right? Couple pylons, couple gateways, no gas. A little bit. Okay, so the scout does get in. I feel like there's a little bit, little bit disorganized with the unit management there. That looked a little chaotic, but you know, just an observation. So again, Jakester is opting to go for the, both players actually were opting to take the same route, you know. DJ Cohen, it worked great last time. Just, you know, build a few zealots, hold the ramp, hold the choke point, go straight into goons. And Jakester, build a few zealots, take a really greedy expansion, dictate the early game. I will say, looking at both builds, I do think that Jakester's early game last game was definitely stronger. But I think DJ Cohen had better overall game sense last game. He was very patient, and, you know, kind of poking and prodding and really just nipping away at the economy as much as he could, and he just kind of pounced at the right time. But overall, Jakester had, I feel like, the stronger early game. He totally flipped the game on its head with a counterattack, despite being severely down in workers from Reavers. So that's nothing to shirk at, for sure. So we'll see how this goes. It looks like both players are kind of doing the same, playing this the same way they played the early game last time. So Cohen is going into building some goons, going into Reaver. Um, Jakester is kind of just building goons and building cannons. Now, the thing is, with cannons in PvP, they're not a bad way to go. They're not, especially if you find that more often than not, you will benefit from throwing down 2 cannons and, you know, kind of buffering out your early game defense a little bit. They're okay, but once you get better at macro and once you get better at navigating your builds and stuff, you'll find that you'll start wondering like, should I just like totally not build cannons and just build like more gateways or something? So for every cannon that gets built, that's a gateway that doesn't get built. So always keep that in mind when you do build them. Particularly in this matchup, it matters. So that's just again, that's just something to kind of keep in mind when you're playing PvP. It's very, you know, there's a lot of, particularly with this opener, there's a lot of finesse and a lot of you have to play a lot to know how it works. So I like that we're building a cannon here and kind of protecting ourselves from Reaver and there. And there's 2 cannons here. And it looks okay, so you know, we're sending some zealots out to scout 3rd locations. That's exactly what these guys are doing, right? So I don't see a nexus here. I don't see a, you know, do I see a probe moving up to this location? Okay. And then we have a Reaver shuttle. This time we have 2 zealots in addition to a Reaver. So the zealots will, especially if you focus them on, they'll definitely help against the cannons. But we have more cannons as well, so. And we have very well placed cannons. That shuttle cannot land there for free. So here we go. So I don't feel like DJ Cohen thinks he can do anything with those with the shuttle right now, so he's bugging out. But look at this. We have so much supply here. And this is all probes. Yeah. So the blue Protoss definitely has, I think, a stronger defense right now, but these are also just zealots. You know, getting them lined up, getting good surface area on them. They're gonna die anyway, right? Oh, looks like we have Zealot leg speed already done. That's nice. Yes. Yes! Zealot legs is done and we're just... Yeah, so we're going to need... Definitely, if you're definitely doing... at this point, you definitely want at least 6 gateways, I feel like. DJ Cohen definitely has the better gateway count. 4 is a little too little for 10 minutes. So, Speed Zealots now... Speed Zealots, again, will totally fight these. You know. I think we're going to need 6 gateways to really make this production worthwhile, but Speed Zealots, this is definitely like the right idea. So Yeah, I definitely think the gateway count's a little low. I'm harping on it, but you know, it's assuming that you're always building units and your opponent is always building units. The one or two extra gateways is really going to make a difference. So this is a nice, I like just like diving in on this third and going, oh, don't go, oh, storm them. No. So we are taking out a Nexus, but we might get clobbered by... Well, actually, that was okay. We denied a third, and we're going to kill some goons. Neither... Okay, so... Zealots do have +1 upgrades. So, we definitely want the gateways. How many gateways do we have here? Okay, so we're going up to 8. Okay. No, sorry, we're going up to 7, I think. No, 8. 8 gateways, yeah, 4 and 4. So we have another round of speed zealots out, and these do have an upgrade lead. So that is something. That is something to consider. That will definitely shift the fight for sure. So, oh my God, and the DT. Oh, that's so nasty. No obs or anything. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh, we just need to keep building. Wow. Look at that. 13 minutes in and we're just building goon range. That's wild. We got a Reaver. Who needs goon range when you have Reavers, right? Oh man, he does have the better economy. I mean, 45 probes on 2 base is good. Oh no, storm! Okay, that's fine, I guess. We did get a bunch of probes. But we're also getting a bunch of probes here. That's gonna get taken care of. Oh man, we're mining off of only one base though. Oh my gosh. Is there a cannon here? Oh, if he goes straight for the oh sure, yeah, let's just kill the probe, why not? If he goes straight, no, he's not going to reach here in time. I was going to say, if he goes straight for this, he could totally kill some stuff before the cannon finishes. So he has the 2 base economy restored, and he has 8 gateways. So he now has more gateways than his opponent does, the red Protoss. So, you know, assuming the red Protoss is, the blue is building mostly goons and he builds mostly speed zealots out of 8. Can still do it, but the Reaver is coming back to be a nuisance. Oh my gosh. Oh, nice. Totally denied that. Oh my gosh. We have... Oh, let's just A-move. Just A-move all these zealots. A-move them all. Oh, we're even in upgrades. I don't know. It may not work. And we're blocked. Oh, that sucks. I hate it. I hate it when I supply block myself like this. I have my brain's going like, I need to build this. I need to build this. Let's do this. Do this. Crap, I'm blocked. Oh, that sucks. All right, we're moving out. Let's live boys get the dead boys on 4 legs, and everybody just move. Why are all the zealots? Oh, is he gonna try and sneak attack up here? Oh, that's so poorly timed. What? Is he trying to sneak attack this base? I guess he was just trying to move around the army. Maybe. Yeah, just move them right in. Just flood them in, baby. Flood them in. Zealot flood. Zealot flood. Okay. Not quite enough zealots for a flood. We have some down here, but that's okay. We're still getting on top of cannons and killing them. Yeah. So these are enough goons that you can literally just dive on these cannons. You can literally just like move and focus fire down the cannons. And any decent Protoss will know what to focus fire on. Yes, there you go. Oh man, but we are mined out. Both bases are mined out. This is wild. If Jakester just spends all his minerals and wins this fight, he could win the game. I kid you not. This is like, oh my gosh. Literally just horde zealots up here and just send them down. He has so much money. Nope. Oh, that's a great time too. Get them while they're trying to get up the ramp. You want to know one of the most frustrating things in the world is Protoss is trying to move goons up a small ramp. That is the perfect time to jump on them. Oh man, what a slugfest! They're both out of money. They both spent all their money. Oh my gosh. This is like the last Viking squad of zealots right here. These guys are like, I don't care if my base dies or not, I am going down in a blaze of glory. I'm going to Asgard, not to the... Oh, not Asgard. Valhalla. I'm going to Valhalla, not my home base. You can take my base. This is hilarious. You can take the base. I'm going to Valhalla. GG. That was pretty funny. Like literally spent everything. Oh my gosh. Okay. That was good. Ratsar, thank you for the follow, my friend. Okay. All right, so that was it for our first series for the night. We'll get the second series up. Our second series is going to be Flashcoin Whales versus Barcode. And for that, I'm going to do another little break, little self-plug. All right. Here we go. Okay. In the top right, sorry, in the this is Dominator. In the 11 o'clock position on Dominator, it is our blue Protoss. It is Bingus Khan Bigums. And in the 3 o'clock position, our red Terran, it is Solaran. kicking off our second Tier 3 bracket for the night. Solaren, I actually, I've been kind of watching and, well, I've been casting Solaren for a few seasons, and he has been gradually but steadily improving, and I was very happy. I think it was 2 weeks ago when I casted his game last. I was very happy to cast a series win of Solaren. Overall, just playing a nice defensive game. So I hope to see, since I've seen that Solaren can win games with defensive play, I do hope to see more defensive play out of Solaren. I hope to see it this series, but I also hope to see it in future CPL and NSL. So very happy to see players improve and get well-deserved wins. I guess the Blue Prost. This isn't the scouting location, but he scouted here anyway. I think he was trying to scout here, but he didn't quite go up far enough, which is unfortunate. But such is learning maps. Is he going to go back, or is he going to realize he didn't scout the right location? So, going here, kind of seeing what's going on. Bingus is going right into 2-gate. It looks to me like this is going to be a 2-gate observer play, which I wouldn't disagree with if it was. That's a nice, just a nice. You get your natural nexus a little late, but it's a nice kind of just safe. Get a bunch of goons out. Don't die. Build. Definitely not the worst one to go. But it is a little bit like 2-gate Zealot in that it does say there's some finessing to get used to with it. The goon is just going to go right to the ramp. I totally know what this is like, where it's like you're so busy macroing at home and doing your build, and then you lose track of your goon and he gets here, and then it's like, oh, I gotta micro my goon now and keep him alive. I totally know what that's like. Protoss is actually, to actually do all of the mechanics of it right, Protoss is actually not that easy. And even this, if you're not good at multitasking, look how easy it is to just like lose track of your goons because you're macroing. And so kind of got lucky that the SCVs didn't repair anything, but yeah, definitely. So if you're in this situation where you see a bunch of goons, you have a bunker up, and you have your Marines in the bunker. It's annoying, but definitely want to get a bunch of SCVs to repair that bunker. As you can see here, the Protoss only has 4 goons. 4 goons is like the max you'll see. you'll usually see 2 or 3. The most you'll see if it's not an aggressive opener is like 4. So this is yeah. So it's good to know how many goons, because that's going to tell you how many SCVs you need to repair, right? So budget for budget for about 4 at the most, but usually 3, maybe 4 at the most SCVs. Keep that bunker alive, because as you can see, once you lose the bunker, you just lose control of the game. Nice job. I think I would rather have the tank here, but yeah. And also, we have very low SCV count. Definitely want to work on keeping like this at a hotkey, keeping this on a hotkey, and just constantly building. With Terran, because I also play a little bit of Terran. With Terran, I know mechanically it's very intensive. It feels like there's a lot more moving parts with the mechanics of Terran, so I can understand how it's frustrating. But Protoss is also just as, in its own way, it's also pretty frustrating, so. Maybe instead of learning a macro build, maybe try and work on like a 2-factory timing push build, I would say. Just don't let the Protoss build this many goons unpunished. Because yeah, this can happen. Just, you know. You lose your bunker and then the goons just totally take the game from you. So, alright. GG. Well played. On to game 2. Okay. And we're on Eclipse. In the top right, our red Terran. It is Solarin. And the bottom left, our blue Protoss, Genghis Khan. Well, there's yeah, Terran is not easy. It's part of the frustration with Terran is how, at least for me anyway, is how long it takes for buildings to build. But also every unit has an ability. So every unit has some sort of spell that you might want to consider using. And so it's, you know, it's just there's a... Also, moving a mech army around is quite the thing. If you've never played the race before, moving a mech army around for the first time, a siege tank vulture army is quite the thing. Oh my gosh. It's like, man, That is like the pinnacle of StarCraft, where you're like mashing your buttons on the keyboard, trying to hopefully make something work. That's basically what like moving a mech army is like. A nice Sim City, building a pylon here and a gateway here, and kind of walling this off a little bit here. Solarian scouting at, I think that was like a 13 scout, maybe a 14. It looks like, I would say Bingus Khan is, by the look of it, is probably goon scouting. He knows where he is. He knows what timings he needs to look for when he's goon scouting, hopefully. So, I think, you know, oh, you know, there's a CC here at this time, you know, I should worry, kind of, or there isn't a CC here at this time, I should worry, whatever, you know, he's kind of, he knows what to look for, hopefully. That goon is not following that SCV. That is a wise goon. And he's dropping a 23 Nexus at 336. Beautiful. And a pylon. So yeah, this, I would definitely say, like here, definitely build a third goon instead of building the second probe. You know, like at this point, like, yeah. Although, it might be okay this game, but just like kind of as a, you know, going back to that DeWalt VOD, this kind of should be something you should be used to. So he does have 4 SCVs this time, but there's only 1 goon here. So, like, although I don't blame him for doing this. You know, it's like, oh, there's 4 SCVs there to repair. You know, and otherwise I can focus on my build here. So I can kind of get why he's doing this, but yeah. Definitely every one of these SCVs that's here repairing and not, or this here not doing anything, is not mining. So this is lost income. So, you know, there's only 1 goon here. I would not keep this many SCVs huddled here. I would have them mining. You know, only repair, try and get into the habit of only repairing what you need. This is nice, kind of blocking this way here and putting a tank here. So nice Sim City there. How many goons do we have? Well, there's 4 goons with more coming. We have 2 kind of here blocking the ramp from vultures. We have 1 over here blocking this ramp from a vulture, and then we have 1 over here keeping an eye on if the Terran is moving out. So definitely, at this point you could probably afford to spread your goons here a little bit, but this is good allocation. Should be seeing a Nexus dropping down. There we go. And again, we're not seeing the CC blinking. So definitely want to keep getting in the habit of just keep building SCVs and building siege tanks. this here? It's 2 more gates. So we're going up to 4 gates. Okay. Sure. Another thing is to know when to start your supply depots. So it takes a pylon about 1.5 worker cycles to build. Something around 1.5. It takes a supply depot about 2 worker cycles to build. So if you know, that's why you can easily, like, if you're macroing as Protoss and you're getting close to blocked, you can just drop a pylon before you start your next probe or whatever. I mean, that's fine. But for Terran, you really need to pay attention to your supply and how much supply supply units are going to cost, because you're waiting 2 whole worker cycles for that supply depot to finish. So that is something to just learn, unfortunately. It does help to study some unit timings and learn some basic relevant timings when you're starting out, I feel like, but don't go too crazy on the timings. You need to know how long it takes a worker to build, because that is basically your relative time for your whole build, is assuming you're always building workers. You don't necessarily need to know how long it takes a Reaver or a Carrier to build, other than really freaking long. The exact time, I'm pretty sure, is really freaking long. So just something to keep in mind. That definitely helped me when I was starting out, is learning how long it takes for certain units to build. And we have on our CPL web app, we have resources for unit build times. So we have, it looks like we have kind of a clumped up contain here. This is like AoE heaven, but nonetheless, we have kind of like a soft contain here on the Terran. We have 3 bases, and we're going up to 8 gateways. Just FYI, that's kind of what the base layout is looking like. And we're blocked. I mean, I think both players were blocked for a minute there, so. But yeah, it's just always good to just, for Terran specifically, err on building your supply depots earlier, because they take forever. And definitely want to work on building more workers. Look at this. We're on 2 base and 30 workers, and the Protoss has double the workers that we have. This is this needs to be better. Definitely want to get in the habit of using hotkeys for your command buildings and your production buildings, definitely want to get in the habit of using hotkeys and just constantly keeping that going with hotkeys. So this is a very it's insane how keyboard intensive this game is, because it wasn't designed to be that way 25 years ago or whatever. So Protoss is, we're kind of, oh, nice. So kind of got pushed back to this high ground position here. Terran, we have some tanks and some mines kind of out here and vultures out here. So Protoss definitely doesn't feel like they can just like camp outside of our base, anymore. But this zealot, this kind of goon zealot army is getting. I mean, this army can literally just A move at this point. All we have to do is just bind all these units to keys, and we can literally just A move this in. Like, it doesn't even matter. It's not even a fight. 120 supply. Yeah, 120 supply worth of army. That's like that's so many units. 120 supply worth of army versus, 60 supply worth of army. This can literally just like face roll its way through. You don't even need hotkeys. You just need to roll your face on the keyboard and you'll win. It's insane. So yeah, it looks like we're gonna move out once we hit 200. Is this a recall? Oh my god! Yes, recall, please. I want to see it. Oh, that would be gold. That would be so gold. Look at all these juicy recall targets. But, conceptually we have a good fortified position. It just would have been nice if we had this position like 7 minutes ago. And if we're always building from our hotkeys, we can do that. Okay, so we're at a 200 army. What is Protoss waiting on? Okay, they're just waiting to attack with their arbiter. Yeah, look at this. This will literally just like walk in and just steamroll everything. When the supply is this different, it's like, dude, you just need to A move and that's it. So, zealots are trying to get up on the ramp. This is the hardest part about engaging on here. Is trying to get your army up this ramp, and once you can do that, it's basically over. All this production, there's nothing building out of here. very, very nice game 2. This was a good, I feel like this was a good exercise in just macroing and attacking at 200. I mean, if you're just practicing your macro, that's not a bad way to go. So. Okay, so the main is completely destroyed. We do have 2 siege tanks on here, but this is 2 siege tanks and 7 workers versus like 120 supply army again. And it's very nearly what we're gonna have out here. So, yeah. There's that. So obviously the you know at this point in my single player game I've realized that well, the computer has built bases everywhere, so now I have to look for them, and now an 18-minute game turns into a 23-minute game. I've literally had solo matches that play out like this. Wow. Oh, that was brutal. That is not a lot of damage. Yeah, he just needs to like flood in units. Again, look at all those zealots. Again, you don't need control groups. You just need to roll your face on the keyboard. Alright, GG. Okay. So that was good. That was good macro. Just a good macro game. I like the idea that the Terran was doing. I like the idea that Solaren was doing. I like what he was trying to do. But obviously this is why like I'm one of the people who will just be like macro 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 macro. And this is why at tier 3 it's macro is often stressed. Just macro and timings is often stressed at this tier. And timings are it's okay to have some of them be a little imperfect here and there, but this is why macro is stressed so much, is because when you play a game, you can't assume that your opponent is just sitting there doing nothing. You have to assume that as while you're trying to macro and constantly build, so is your opponent. So if you don't, yeah, that's bad. Okay. All right, so we're going to go into the second series. Father's Belt versus KN. This is a TBZ. Very excited to play my first, cast my first non-Protoss game of the night. And here we go. All right, Dominator game 1. Okay. In the 11 o'clock position on Dominator, it is our blue Terran, Father's Belt. And in the almost 7 o'clock position, I call it the 6:30 position, even though it's not really an hour hand position. It is the Red Zerg KN 37. Good APM. This is all very, we've seen this before in other series. This is all very good APM for just, hitting your timings and stuff. So, okay. So, this is obviously a hatch first opener. And this is obviously a barracks first opener. Yeah, so it looks like Zerg is trying to get their first scouts off. Setting the Overlord to scout this position, setting the drone to scout the other position. Very typical scout pattern for Zerg. What waypoint list is full? Oh my goodness. This early in the game already? Nothing particularly crazy here. It looks like the Zerg is probably going to go for a Muta play, I would guess, but I would hope they're mining more here if they're going to go for Mutas and building a gas. So this feels, for Mutas, this feels kind of low eco right now. But I would guess that's probably the play, just because they're a pain in the neck when they're clumped together. But lurkers, oh, okay, so it's not going to be mutas, it's actually going to be lurkers. So lurkers, in my opinion, I love watching tier 3 players go lurker, because I really feel like the Lurker is a much more beginner-friendly unit than the Muta. The Muta is such a micro-intensive unit. If you don't have good micro, they're not going to be good. Lurkers, on the other hand, you could just sit them. They're like siege tanks. You could just park them and burrow them, and they'll just tear everything apart. So, just mechanically, they're way less intensive, and they're really good. Sorry about that. Been having weird issues with my mouse slipping off and on tonight. I'm having all kinds of issues. Oh, it's all right. So we do have the Lings here, kind of trying to see what the Terran is doing. Terran, meanwhile, is just collecting Marines. Yeah. Now, I don't see a... is there an academy? No, there is an academy. Okay. I had to ask. I mean, you know, Father's Belt's a pretty solid player in terms of crossing his T's and dotting his I's, but... So this is really good. I don't see... okay, so there's Comsats now. He needs to hit, like... Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know. I think this might just hit not in time. But we'll see. That's a lot. It's a lot of bio. It's a lot of Lurkers. He has one scan. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of Lurkers. That's like you see me coming and you still can't stop me. So I really love this play, going to hatch Lurker into expand. Just fire at will. There we go. And then we're just moving Lings in. That's good. Oh. One Lurker. Oh my gosh. Whoa, sorry. Yeah, my I don't know. Yeah, my mouse is already sensitive, but that's wild. I wonder if you're Terran, how many ladder games look like this? Where you're like pinned to like the bottom of your ramp and there's one Lurker. And the Zerg is constantly macroing. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, those links, oh my gosh. That's so many Zerglings. So he's still macroing. I mean, look at this. So he stopped at 30. Well, 30 SCVs on one base is okay. But this is like what your base should look like. Just constantly blinking and constantly blinking. And you shouldn't stop. You shouldn't stop building workers until you're at least in the 60s. Like, particularly in this phase of the game, if you're a Terran, you should keep building workers and keep building workers. And then eventually your excess should spill over to your expansions. So you should just keep building, man. Just keep going. Nice fortification here. He finally held it. He's gonna be well. I'm not gonna say he's behind because the Zerg is at 20 drones. Like, I know the Zerg is supposed to have less drones, but 10 drones down seems pretty low to me. So things are gonna be quiet for now. What are both players' paths out of this? So Terran is upgrading armor and stuff. I would expect to see a factory soon, either a factory or a third command center out of Terran, but ideally a factory. Do have a strong economy, so once we can start, we need to keep building SCVs. That's just a general rule at this point. Keep making workers. But I would guess Terran's next move is probably to build a factory, and either complement their bio push with tanks or tech up to vessels. I mean, it doesn't make sense to build a third. So my personal preference as a Terran would be to actually make tanks and do a tank bio push here and use my siege splash damage. That would be my personal preference, but vessels are very popular for good reason. It's also good playstyle. So we have a counterattack coming here at the third. And this will be good. He'll be able to erase this hatchery. But we have another just kind of wave of lings coming. I don't think they're going to get through this. Oh, maybe they will. The bunkers are unloaded. Maybe they won't. Okay. So he does erase the hatchery. And Zerg does absolutely nothing with that run by. Still has a good defense here, but all he needs is a scan and some stim, and he'll break this. He certainly has enough bio. That's all he needs. So it looks like we are teching up to Vessel instead of getting Siege Tank. Zerg, meanwhile, investing in upgrades and building way more lurkers. Man, I don't know. This, all he needs is a scan. A good scan. Oh, yeah, pull it. Nice. We're sending more SCVs down. I'm sorry, more bio down. Some SCVs in there. I like how he has some Marines scattered throughout the map and is just kind of just getting some vision of what could be going on as far as Zerg bases goes. That's too many lurkers. I wonder if fire bats would be okay. Because they're slightly tankier than Marines, although let's see. No, I think fire bats have like 80 damage. Sorry, 80 health, so they would still kill them pretty quickly. I am not entirely sure how to fight this. Like, if I was a Terran and I saw this, I would not entirely know how to. I wouldn't know. I can't talk. I wouldn't know how to respond. Yet. So Terran is now going up to 2 starport. Still hasn't started vessel production quite yet. Although, has that been finished? I think that's been finished. Okay, so, oh my gosh. How much stuff you have to watch in this is insane. So, I'm poised to take a 4th. Oh, nice job building some bunkers here. So it looks like we have this lurker doom drop coming in. We'll see what happens. This is, yeah, scary. Da 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 da. Whoops, sorry. My mouse keeps slipping. I don't know why. Oh my gosh. I think I keep tugging on the cord. That is, okay, that is how you end a game. That was a wild drop. Oh, yes. 80 million lings and hydras and lurkers. Let's just send them all. For the horde. Ah. Burrow them. Burrow them. There you go. Oh my gosh. So many lurkers. Zerg can literally make so much. Look at this. We're down to 24 workers on effectively one mining base. Wow. GG. What a game. That was brutal. Yeah. That's a good example of why I like to see lurkers in tier 3 ZVT. That was good. Yeah. Okay, on to game 2. We are going back to Eclipse for the... I've lost track of how many times tonight. Okay. In the top right, on Eclipse, our blue Terran, it is Father's Belt. And in the bottom left, our red Zerg, it is KN37. So once again, the Terran is going barracks before CC. We'll see if it decides to throw a factory in there or not, but I'm expecting it'll just be a CC. And yes, I was being facetious. There's another unit. Waypoint list is full. What is... What is triggering that? That's crazy. I don't see anything that could be triggering that. Doesn't mean there isn't anything. It just means that I don't see it. Okay. So if I had to guess, I would say that because it just works so well in game 1, why not do it again in game 2? I would guess we're probably going to see a lurker play. But if that be the case, I hope I'm wrong. I hope Zerg does something other than lurkers, because the risk you run in a series when you do the same thing over and over again, especially against a player that can learn and adapt, is you risk that your opponent will know how to beat what you're doing. That is always the risk of running two things in a row. Two of the same things in a row in a series is now it is possible to be really, really good and win doing those two things in a row. Win twice doing the same thing. It is possible, but there's a risk involved. So, with that said, I hope we don't see lurkers. But we could. Oh, we won't see it. Nice. Okay, so we have a spire. And we have some links coming across the map, and gotta park themselves right about here. Or not. Or they'll just park themselves right here. Sure. And Terran, we're going up to, it looks like, is that 3? That's 3 racks. And getting comsats. Hopefully he starts putting turrets up. There we go. Well, turrets will start going up. And the mutas are en route. Okay, so they are going to come in from the south here. Try and get a good exploitative angle on this CC, but as you can see, these turrets are not having it. Very, very good turret placement. And we do have a counterattack coming across the map. And we still have more turrets. We have a turret here and some turrets here. So very good, very good turret defense. Oh, he can't bust that. He can't break this. That's why he's pulling back. So now he's trying to see if he can deny some expansions. Zerg is very walled in here. Like that. Look at that, 5 sunkens. But that's 10 mutas. Getting some damage in, but look at that. All these units are just dropping. And the Overlord has been killed. Does he have enough to bust now? I mean, that's a lot. That's 5. And if he does break this, he basically wins. So, I don't know. I mean, I think he could still bust this, but, well, I think he will. Just a matter of when he wants to pull the trigger. Oh, is this going to get... Are the Mia's going to intercept this? They're just going to intercept the tail end of it. They might have been watching it move across, though. Nice. Nice. Just waiting for the... Just holding out and waiting for the right minute to bust. Beautiful. Okay. So this is our first game 3 of the night. We are going on to Radion. It's so rad, it's Radion. All right. Oh, lovely. Everybody's favorite spawn position. It is cross spawn. In the bottom left, our blue Terran. It is Father's Belt. And in the... Sorry, that was the bottom right. In the top left... The right top left, not the left top right. It is our red Zerg, KN37, with a tied series of 1-1. Who will take game 3? So by the look of it, we have another hatch first versus barracks first. I'm just going to keep calling it barracks first. That's so much fun. And every Terran's like, what the hell? Every Terran build is a barracks first. uh, it's the little things. It's the little moments of entertainment. That's yeah. Okay, so we're going to be scouting on 10, and it looks like we're going to be doing a vertical scout, and Zerg meanwhile going to be double scouting. Okay. This is a big map. I didn't even I keep forgetting how big this map is. A nice sneaky overlord just sitting there. To spire again. Oops, sorry. Really doesn't take much for that to do. And Terran, it looks like, is just kind of doing normal Terran things. Yep. Scans the lair. Sees the spire. starts building turrets. It's a very normal thing. It's just very good to know when the mutas are coming. I like the fact that he builds his comstats so early, so that if he can't get over to that end of the map, he can still build his turrets early. Because you have to find a way to know. You have to know if they're coming or not. Mutas are on the way. So they are going to try and hit the main base from the north end. It looks like there will be one turret done. This might work out a little better. There's a lot less clusters of turrets. And a lot of the units are out of position too. So this is... Oh, okay, there's a second one down there. This is looking a bit scarier. But, yeah. He does decide to bug out for a minute. This right here, this little space right here is also a nice space for, in this case, a turret. It would link up with these. It would triangulate with these two nicely. It also would, I think, either here or here, I think helps your gas mining efficiency. At least for Protoss, it does. Like if you build a pylon here or here, it helps your. I don't know if it does for Terran 2. I would guess it does. But I would put a third turret here if it were me. If for no other reason than just to synergize well with the other two. Terran is feeling bold and marching across the map with Bio, knowing that there are mutas about. Ooh, nice. He picks off all of them. There are no more mutas on the map. Alright, so we're going to try and move in. Still have a lot of Sunkens. This is not going to get much done. But, you know what? Just move in and poke and see what happens, right? Just don't lose all your bio. I'm guessing scanning the map for bases, and also we're checking up here to see if there's any bases. And it looks like Zurich is going to be sending a bunch of lings across again. Because why not? But I don't know. But ooh, no medics there to support. This might not end well. Well, maybe it will. Maybe it will. They're all kind of not being aggressive. Okay. It's weird. It's so weird to feel out these game states because it looks like there's not enough bio on the map, but there is. And it looks like there's so many lings on the map that it's terrifying, but they're not. It was really hard to like figure out the game state. So it looks like the Zerg is opting to go into Ultras instead to kind of go for that Loco Zerg. And once this gets done, this Ultraless Carapace, these things are just going to be ridiculous. Oh, nice. He canceled that hatchery. Beautiful. But there is another hat. Oh, I was going to say, I thought that was a hatchery. That'd been really funny if that was a hatchery. I forgot those are Zerglings. So there is a lot of bio out on the map. And oh my gosh, he just caught him just after he moved out. That's crazy. That's like crazy Zerg crazy. The thing is that I don't think the bust play is gonna quite work again for the crazy Zerg build because there are now ultras and there's ultra carapace upgraded. So yeah. And these things are just going to be more and more and more upgraded. But nonetheless, the Terran is trying to do another kind of a bust, like kind of gather up a bunch of macro cycles and then run in and bust. But yeah, the Terran's gonna have a rude awakening when they try and bust. That's for sure. There is a third. There's just now vessels coming out at almost 15 minutes into the game. And the thing is, Zerg can just drone. Zerg can literally just drone to 30 at this point. And they come out. They have been revealed. This is like that scene in Resident Evil where that super strong genetic experiment gone wrong finally gets revealed at like the end of the game. And yeah, okay. So Zerg is going to try and erase this third base, which I imagine they will do very successfully, as there's nothing here to defend it. There was a bunker with one dude in it, and as you can see, it's not there anymore. And now going to come right in and A move across. These things are insane. Look at how hard it is to kill just one. 5 armor with that carapace upgrade. I mean that Ultralisk armor upgrade. That is wild. That upgrade is so wild to me. Oh, trying to hold the ramp, getting hold the ramp. He's got another macro cycle. That's a lot. And there's more coming. That's wild. Nice play. He just, like, literally... I think that this was just... I think this was just, like... Like he thought he could bust and win if he just masked bio. But... Yeah. This was just a strategic win here from Zerg. GG. Alright, we just had to have the satisfaction of watching the Ultralisks kill everything. Alright, GG. That was I liked the play there where the overall play where he still had a bunch of Sunkens, and he still had some Lings like protecting the Sunkens, but I mean he had no mutas, they were all dead, and he just kind of sat there and upgraded his ultras while his opponent massed like 20 macro cycles of Marines. And it didn't, like the last game, there so much money was being put into mutas that like there was nothing there to defend the base beyond the Sunkens. So it worked in game 2. It worked, but not in game 3. Nice. That was good. Okay, our final series of the night. We are doing a TVT Fire Hex versus Pecan, and we're going back to Dominator. Okay. All right, in the 11 o'clock position on Dominator, our blue Terran, it is Pecan. And in the 3 o'clock position, our red Terran, it is Fire Hex. So, if you're watching and you don't know CPL or yeah, like maybe you're watching this on my YouTube and you don't know what CPL is, or you're watching this on CPL's YouTube and you still don't quite know what CPL is. CPL is it is a league for well, sorry about that. Yeah, it's my cord. I've been having issues with my cord all night. Okay. So CPL is a league that is designed around learning StarCraft. And it is for people of all skill levels. It is for people who just started playing and have 40 APM on a good day to people who are like high up there in skill, like A rank, S rank. Um, I think some of our tier zeros are like high A rank, almost S rank, and some of them are like S rank. So yeah, it runs the gamut, and I like to feature tier 3 in CPL because even though this is a tier where things kind of more often move a little slowly and people aren't entirely sure how to close out a game, it is still interesting to me to see the different plays that you sometimes see in tier 3. Like just this past series, that 2-hatch lurker game, that it was nice to mix in a 2-hatch lurker into a ZVT. So I don't see that very often, and I want to see it more often, and so I'm glad. Um, so yeah, there's you can see all kinds of interesting plays, and that PvP we saw where it was pretty much just a macro PvP, but like we had like 2-gate zealot and then goons, and then we have like 5 DTs at the end of the game. You just see some cool stuff, man. You see some cool stuff in tier 3. So I like casting this series. I like casting these games. So Pecan is going into kind of a 2-fact. Pretty standard 2-fact vulture opening. Fire Hex is going into kind of a greedy build where he's going into a CC off of one factory. Both players opened barracks first, by the way. We still saw that same old barracks first opening. The ways I entertain myself. So yeah, that's kind of what we're seeing. I would guess this should probably go into a 3-fact, because if it's gonna go into a 2, it's gonna be a delayed 2. But we'll see what happens. There's 2 vultures and a marine out, and so there's the same composition out for both sides. So who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I think Pecan did that did a slightly faster two factory vulture. So I feel like they probably have the advantage right now. Um, it's pretty even in supplies, but Pecan is down workers, so that just tells you who's going to win the vulture war right now. But I'm not sure what's going to happen because all it takes is one bad engagement and an advantage goes sideways. Although this looks like a clear... Ooh. See, look at that. He lost way more vultures than I thought he should. That's wild. Yeah, so and now he's really far behind. He is, 10 workers down. And he lost all his army. Yeah. No, I think Fire Hex just takes it. Just way better macro. And actually, he just took the better engagement. Like, Pecan lost way more vultures than I thought he would. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, let's just put him there. Nice. Look at that. That was wild. That was the perfect frame to end this on. That was wild. Oh my gosh. That was glorious. Okay. Hopping into game 2 onto Eclipse. All right. In the top right, on Eclipse, it is Pecan, the blue Terran. And in the bottom left, it is Firehex, the red Terran. And, yeah. So, yeah, so this is what I was trying to get at with my plug was this is a league for everybody. You don't have to be a pro to play in this league. It is a team it is a team clan based league, like it's like people in the league are put into teams, and then a certain number of people on the team play every week. So it does like kind of have that simulated team element, but like make no mistake, everyone's all part of the same league, right? The team thing is just there like kind of for fun. So and you get coaching, right? So like and you can even get coaching off season as well. You just send your replays in and ask for help, and usually experienced people will just come and like tell you what you did wrong in your replays and stuff. It's a very great community for trying to improve. There's plenty of resources in CPL to improve from, and there's people and you get encouraged to get in good habits. But I think more than the direct coaching, there's just the people you meet through CPL. If I didn't join CPL, I would not have been a nom. I'm not a nom anymore, but I was for a while. I wouldn't have been a nom. I wouldn't have met all the people in nom. I wouldn't have met all the people I wouldn't have been in CSL and met the folks in CSL. So it's not just the coaching. There's a huge networking opportunity where you just meet all kinds of people, and I mean, growth can come from anywhere. So if you don't know what CPL is or you're not part of it, I would highly recommend joining it. If for no other reason than you have no idea where the road is going to take you in a year or two from now. I played a best of 3 against DeWalt in CSL, and I would have never played that best of 3 had I joined CPL. I would have never met the people to even have the opportunity to play that best of 3 against DeWalt if I never joined CPL. It's wild. It's just absolutely wild, the doors that open up when you join this league. So, aside from the coaching, which, there's good coaching here too. There's good coaches here. So yeah, if you don't know what CPL is, I would highly recommend looking them up. You have people plugging CPL on Reddit. So I'm sure if you poke around on there, you can find resources of how to reach CPL. We also have a Discord, and you can. I think there's certain communities where you can join the CPL Discord from. So yeah, definitely look into how to join it and definitely join the next CPL tournament as well. Sign up for the next tournament if you haven't signed up for this one. All right. So we're at the good old 44 out of 44 supply block. We've just got nothing but vultures coming down for pecan. It looks like we have... Yeah, it looks like we'll be able to defend this. Just pull some SEVs and throw some vultures down. Well, it looks like we're going to have a better macro machine out of Firehex here, should he make it through this engagement. Oh my gosh, look at that! Look at that focus fire! That's wild, look at that! That's crazy! I was totally, I was trying to get there, I was trying to do that. I was just missing it. That's crazy. Those moving focus shots. That was nuts. Killer control out of Fire Hex. Look at that. Just, oh my gosh. That is wild. Okay. That's wild. Look at that. Dude, this Vulture Micro is insane. This is tier 3. This Vulture Micro is off the hook. Oh my gosh. This is like the snow of vultures. It's crazy. That one control group of vultures, the Vulture Micro is so good. That one control group of vultures got like all the way in here and just killed everything. Dude. This is nuts. Look at that. Look at the... Do you know how fast these things are going? This is... For tier 3, this is like... This is nuts Vulture Micro. This should be tier 2. This control is like tier 2 control. This is insane. Somebody tier this man up. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. He just needs a macro cycle of vultures and he kills everything. Wow, yeah, GG, well played indeed. Oh my gosh. A brilliant two. That, if Fire Hex isn't tier 2, he needs to be tier 2. That is just insane Vulture Micro. Well done. All right. What a series. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. We are not we are done for the day. We got through all of our games. That was the last of Flashcoin Whales versus Barcode. So come back tomorrow night though. We have more tier 3 tomorrow night. We have another double feature. 6 more series tomorrow night. That's right. We got 6 more coming. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for supporting CPL. I'm going to see if there's anybody around to crash, to raid, and we're gonna go and raid some people. Oh, Love Snow's on. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we'll raid Love Snow. All right.
Like what?
All right. All right, guys. Mini Renek, Ratsar, McTarren, thank you all for showing up. I'm sorry I didn't see y'all in the chat. I had my chat covered up so I couldn't see what y'all were saying. But thank y'all for showing up in the chat today and saying hello and supporting the T3 goodness. All right, we're gonna go ahead and raid Love Snow. So, thank y'all for tuning in. Hope to see y'all tomorrow night for more Tier 3. Have a good one. Oh, hold on a second. I have to. There we go. All right. Here we go. Enjoy, guys.